just the most popular design that I've ever created for Curate Crochet Box. That was a mouthful. I can neither confirm or deny what my future self will decide. Slightly more revealing. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lindsay if you're new around here, and I am a crochet designer based in the Cotswolds in the UK. In this video, it's going to be a chatty video. I'm going to walk you through some of my most recent finished objects, a couple of works in progress, and also some really scrummy new yarn that I've bought in new things at the end. So stick with me because we have a little bit of catching up to do. So the first thing that I wanted to show you is a finished object, and this is a little bag that I have recently designed and made for my crochet subscription box, which is called Curate Crochet Box. So this is the project that will be going out in the July box. Let me give you a little close-up. So the idea behind the project is that it is a little project bag, hence it's got this little strap that you can hold on your wrist. Actually, because I'm a crocheter, it would probably go on my left wrist, and then I like to feed the yarn from the left with your hook. You can crochet anywhere. So it's just a cute little number that you can take with you or that you can have handy. Just the size for a lovely little project. And then here's a little close-up of the leaves. I wanted them to look like Monstera leaves. The kit also comes with these sweet little wooden beads, which you get 2 of to close the bag. So the yarn is, this is what our boxes look like. I don't actually have the full kit here, I only have leftovers, sorry about that. The main body of the bag is worked in this, which is a Stylecraft Special Aran in parchment. And then the yarn for the little Monstera leaves has actually been hand dyed for us by Vicky Brown Designs, who I love. This isn't quite the right colourway here. If you can see, this one is a little bit lighter than what we ended up going with, but this is one of the samples that Vicky made for me when we were in the design process. So this one's just got a little bit more white in it, but it's the same base. So it is 25 grams of 100% superwash merino, and it is Aran weight. So I was quite keen on doing Aran weight because I know not everybody has a ball winder and a yarn swift, and so at least with 25 grams of Aran you can hand wind it super quickly into a ball before you start your project. So yeah, there's my little Monstera project bag. It has a little drawstring top and a side strap, as I said, and I guess in shape wise he's like a little bucket bag. If you do like the look of this little guy, I'll pop all the details in the description box below. This kit is on sale now for 2 weeks. Every month we open to new subscribers and then we close again on the 6th of the month. So depending on when you're watching this video, you too can make along with me and the rest of our Curate Crochet boxes if you like the look of the July project. Not a sales pitch, but just in case anybody asks. And then because I haven't done a video in a while, I think I'm averaging one every quarter at the moment, I thought I would show you the previous 2 projects as well. This was the project that has just posted out, so if you are one of our subscribers, you'll be receiving this little cutie to make. It is a clock, a little crochet clock, with these fun little ice creams all the way around the outside. And the month before that this was like the most popular design yet. Oh, sorry. This little guy uses a pack of 10 Rico Roomies, the little mini made by me ones, and it comes with the clock base and everything. And then yeah, this was the Parisienne bag, which was May's box, and one of my favorite makes that I've made recently, and also just the most popular design that I've ever created for Curate Crochet Box. That was a mouthful. Yeah, everybody just loved this bag. It's made up of grannies with this little puff stitch detailing, and the strap is also made of puff stitches. And the join that I used to join the squares together was actually not one that I had used before. I was just looking for something. I knew I wanted a little bit of contrast detailing. So I had a little look online at different joins for granny squares, and I found this. And my tech editor tells me it's called a flat zipper join. It's essentially a slip stitch join worked in the back loops only and worked from the top, so you always hold the yarn underneath, and it just creates this lovely little contrast. The strap is adjustable. It came with all these little bits and bobs and the D-rings, and also the handles and the magnetic clasp. What have I got inside? Stuffing, wool stuffing. So yeah, those are 3 of my most recent finished objects. They are all work related in that I designed them for my crochet boxes, but honestly, if you turn your hobby into your job, there's a fine line there, right? I'm still counting them as my finished objects. The Parisienne bag, the Gelato time clock, and this little guy's name is TBC at point of filming. The working title is the Monstera Project Bag. Whether or not it will evolve from that until the time this video goes up, I can neither confirm or deny. What my future self will decide, but that's his little working title at the moment. So yeah, those are 3 of my most recent makes. In terms of works in progress, I feel like I should also caveat by saying it is super hot in the UK at the moment. I don't know if this weather is typical for this time of year or not, but none of us seem to be used to it. So I feel like all the projects that I have started making are not very weather-wise. They are not very suitable for this time of year, but hey, I'm sure it'll soon start raining and cool down again, so we'll be fine. The first one I wanted to show you is actually I've got 3 garments on the go, so let's see which one ends up getting finished first. But this is the one that I have done most progress on, and I was actually gifted this yarn like many moons ago. Like it might even have been 3 or 4 years ago. This is the Serda Snuggly Cashmere Merino in double knit, and it's just a really lovely yarn. It's a lovely sort of blush pink colour, and what I've started making with it is a shirt, a crochet shirt. So the intention was it was for the sort of summertime. So this is how far I have got. I wanted it to be quite boxy and a little bit oversized, so I've just used granny stitch in rows, and I've done the front and the back. So I've done the front and the back. It is going to have a little bit more of a sleeve, but probably just to bring it down to like the length of this t-shirt I'm wearing, which is also quite sort of boxy and a little bit oversized. And then I was really keen on doing a pretty edge. And actually, in my memory, I haven't worked on this for a week or so, I started doing the edge. And I just worked it into the side of the rows. What I didn't do was swatch the trim in comparison to the granny stitch if that makes sense. So I just went ahead and worked, I think, 3 double crochets into the side of each granny row, and I felt like, I don't know how well you can see because I'm also wearing it whilst talking and trying to show it to you, but I felt like the trim was ever so slightly sort of bulkier than the body. So I think what I'll need to do is either block the granny square stitch, or I was thinking I might have to unpick this side seam and work it in a more accurate gauge. So like actually measure it, actually work out how many stitches would sit comfortably rather than just assuming that it's 3 double crochet per treble. If that makes sense. I'm not sure if I'm making sense. I'm also quite warm with 2 layers on. But yeah, this was the idea. I wanted it to have this pretty trim, and then I was thinking that I would do maybe some kind of like final contrast detail around the edge of the shirt. So yeah, I also had in mind a cute pair of crochet shorts with a lining. I think I'd maybe not line the shirt, but if I do shorts, obviously it's slightly more slightly more revealing. So I think I would have to crack out the sewing machine and work out how to line a pair of shorts. But I'm not convinced that I will have enough yarn left. I need to do a delve into my bin of yarn and see how much more I've got. Obviously definitely have 2.5, but I wanted to make a little bit of a sleeve. So looking at it now, maybe it just needs like the trim. Might be able to get away with that. So watch this space and we'll see. This is kind of what it's looking like length-wise. So yeah, there's one of my whips, works in progress. This second work in progress, I honestly haven't looked at in at least a month or 2. I started making a checkerboard vest for myself using some yarn that I picked up in America when we went to America in February. This is, I'm sure you can get it in the UK too, but this is Lion Brand Yarns Wool Ease. I want to say Thick and Quick because that's the words that came into my mind, but it doesn't actually say that anywhere. I'm guessing maybe that's a different yarn that I've just had people talking about. It says the warmth of wool blended with the ease of acrylic, and it is 80% acrylic and 20% wool. And it's a chunk, I think it's a chunky yarn. Yeah, maybe Aran. It says it's medium in US terms, and it calls for 5mm knitting needles or 6mm hook. So I'd say that probably is more of a chunky. Yeah, this is as far as I've got. Looks like I have started shaping. And I think I wanted it to be quite cropped. So I think the reason I stopped at this stage, I like how I don't even know, was because I wasn't sure when I needed to start the neckline. But I did even start grading this out into a pattern. I know checkerboard stuff was super popular. I don't know if I've missed the boat or not, but I was quite enjoying it, and I quite liked how subtle these 2 colours were. I was originally thinking I'd do it in like black and white. I possibly had just watched Wednesday on Netflix when I had that thought, and everybody was doing the black and white. But I think I would get much more wear out of this in reality. And then my third work in progress has even less to show for itself, but it is a beautiful colour. Look at that. So again, this is a yarn that I've had in my stash for eons. I think maybe even like 6 years. I don't know. It survived several destashes just based on the colour alone, because look at it. I'm pretty sure it is a Rowan mohair, maybe the Kid Silk Haze. but this doesn't actually have its ball band, so I'm not sure. I do have a couple of other balls of it on the shelves in my studio. But just look at the colour. And I haven't used it to date because it is lace weight, and if you haven't watched before, I'm definitely more of an Aran weight, just because I find I don't have the patience to spend. So yeah, I swatched it up. I thought, well, if I don't like wet lace weight, what about if I use a 5mm hook? Again, I had the idea that I wanted to make a vest, but I'm making it on the side. Again, I think I've graded this into a pattern. Whether or not it will make sense when I go back and look at it, because I haven't looked at this for a few weeks. I think what happened was I decided I really wanted to make more crochet garments, and so in typical me fashion, I started, but I haven't actually finished any of them. I think I just need to stick to one project at a time. As this one is nearly finished, let's let it be this one. This is gorgeous. This one is equally enjoyable, but not going to wear that in a long time if this weather keeps up. So let's see. I think I might be inclined to finish this one next and then this one, but why not help keep me accountable? I've said it now here on the podcast, so we'll see what happens next time, next quarter, when I get around to filming another video. Finally, in terms of new things, I did treat myself to some yarn. We went down to Falmouth in Cornwall in the half term that's just been, the May half term. Notwithstanding how many garments I currently have on the go, I do have a garment in mind for these, but also what I was trying to do was not bankrupt myself. It was buy enough yarn that I have the options to actually make a garment or something in the future. I went into Stitches and Cream, which is a really lovely independent yarn shop in Falmouth, and I picked up 2 balls of this, and it is by the Camel's Yarn, hand dyed in Cornwall. It's a merino DK, and it's 100% superwash merino. So I got 2 of those, as I said, and I also bought 2, actually what colourway is that? I think it's called Spring. Yes, Spring. And then I also bought 2 solids in the same weight, so they're merino DK, and this is the colourway Spice, and I do have one more. I think they actually go really nicely together. My 9-year-old daughter tells me they don't, but I think you can just about see. The Spring yarn does have some of the darker tones. I just thought could make a really nice, either like a granny square cardie, or I have an idea for almost like a houndstooth kind of design that I'm quite keen to make. So that's those. And then I also picked up this, which I'm fairly certain is also the colourway Spring, yes, but it is in a lace weight yarn, and it is 74% baby Surrey alpaca and 26% mulberry silk. Oh, isn't it beautiful? Yeah, I love seeing how the same colours can look totally different on different bases. So the bottom one is the DK weight I showed you, and then the top one is the silk. Love it. I mean, I would like to incorporate this in some way. Whether or not I'll like hold it together with this one or it can be worked on its own, I think that will really depend on the design, but it will remain to be seen. So yeah, treated myself to rather a lot of yarn, but isn't it lovely? I just need to make sure I actually make something with it now, because if you recall, or if you watched the last podcast, I will have shown you some yarn that I bought last September from Yarndale. And have I made anything with it? No, I definitely have not. So yeah, it's quite a lot of money. I think this cost me like 105 pounds or something, 102, because I think the silk was 22 pounds. So that's quite a lot of money to spend if I'm not going to do anything with it. So watch this space. It's in the new things section right now, soon to be in the works in progress section. Again, I'm going to use you guys to keep me accountable. So yeah, that is about all I have to show you today. The only other new thing isn't very visual. Our 2-year yarniversary for Curate Crochet Box. I've been running the boxes 2 years now. Honestly, I'm just quite excited about all the different things I've got going on and doing, and mentally something about hitting a 2-year anniversary with the boxes has left me feeling really motivated. I've got lots of things that I want to do to tweak the boxes and bring in new things. I'm not overhauling it, right? It works. I love the boxes, but just to make them a little bit more exciting for buyers as well. So perhaps I can talk through some of those changes with you on the next podcast. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do leave me a comment below if you've watched to the end and you've enjoyed the podcast. I always love to hear what you think about either what I'm working on or what I'm up to. I think actually for the first time, everything I've shown today has been my own design or my own make, which pretty much sums up how I'm making these days. I really would like to bring in a little bit more sewing from a hobby point of view, but obviously for work, for my day job, it's all crochet. And then when I'm making personal projects, which might possibly be patterns one day, it's crochet and it's on my own designs. I'm sure I have made a pattern of somebody else's recently, so if I can remember, I'll show it on the next one. Alright, thank you so much for watching today, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Bye bye!